Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 8th live stream in this concert series, which should have been undertaken on a bicycle with a trailer and guitars and stuff. One of my mammoth cycling tours. But because of coronavirus, I'm broadcasting from my studio in Shoreham, Sussex, and it's very nice to welcome you here. I'm keeping myself busy, putting the finishing touches to my forthcoming double album, Wheeled Barrows. That's the sequel to Stringhenge. It's been a fantastic week of recording and mixing, so very excited about that, but also really missing my bicycle and missing the thought of travelling the length of Great Britain from Orkney all the way down to Brighton Open Air Theatre. Tonight, of course, extra special, I would have arrived in Nottinghamshire, a lovely little town called Edwinstowe, which is the closest civilization to the major oak, the oldest oak tree in Great Britain. And as some of you will know, I play a guitar made from a 5,000-year-old English oak that was preserved in the anaerobic mud of East Anglia for all those years. So I feel a real connection with this place. I've made some friends there as well. I always mention during my concerts my friendship with the venues. This is a very genuine thing. You get to know people as you travel around over many years, and I always look forward to going to Edwinstowe, to the church there, where my lovely friend Patrick Candler, who does so much for the Forest, usually welcomes me. I've been there several times. Wish I was there tonight, Patrick. However, we have some lovely things lined up for you, not least a film by Friar Tuck. So we're going to go straight to that film now, which has been lovingly put together by Ian Major. So let's learn a few things about Sherwood Forest.
Ah, my friends, salutations. I am Friar Tuck, and you join me amidst the magic of Sherwood Forest. Come with me. Let us explore this magical wonder of Sherwood. This 200 years old oak may one day reach 1,000 years, just like the major oak, if we take care of it. The spirit of Sherwood Forest lives on. I'm sure you'll agree that this natural heritage wonder is something that lives within all our hearts. Thank you for joining us today, and keep supporting Sherwood Forest. Adieu, brethren, until times are better.
Thank you, Friar Tuck. Didn't realise you were a Welshman. I recognise that bloke. What a fantastic film Thank you very much. Makes me nostalgic. When I was cycling into Edwinstowe last, it was June the 13th, 2018, when I played a concert on my 2018 cycling music tour. I took a few hours out to nip across in a car. I have to confess I cheated. I had a lift across to BBC Nottingham where I met my lovely friend Alan Clifford. Hi Alan, if you're listening. And then it was on with the concert. We then set off heading for Scopwick, Oxford, Sussex, and I arrived home on the 20th of June 2018, and I had to put my bike in the shed, get in the car and drive straight back to Edwinstowe. And the reason for that was that BBC Radio 3 were doing an early morning series on British forests, and they had these wonderful microphones out in the forest each morning, wherever they were. And on Midsummer's Day, they'd invited me to come and play under the major oak in Sherwood Forest. Petroc Trelawney was there with his crew, and I played my bog oak bourrée upon my guitar, built partly from a 5,000-year-old English oak. I had to embrace the major oak and introduce it to my beautiful friend that was hanging around my neck, as you can see. To end with tonight, I have chosen a live film. It was actually filmed in 360, but I think you're just going to see a composite of the picture. But it's a lovely film of 2 tracks from my 2018 album, String Henge. I got some mates together, including my 2 daughters, Daisy and Rooney, and we all assembled on the stage at the Rope Tackle Art Centre to perform 2 rather folky songs which appear on the album. They're my songs, and the first one is called Morris Dreams. The second is Kenneth The Hedge. And I thought it would fit rather nicely with the Friar Tuck vibe of tonight's show. So these 2 tracks are from String Henge. But the second song that we go into on this little film, Kenneth The Hedge, is actually coming out as a single on the 3rd of July. So please do look out on iTunes and Spotify, right into 6 Music, whichever radio station, BBC Nottinghamshire, right to Alan Clifford, to play the single, Kenneth The Hedge. The B-side of the single is the Bog Oak Bourrée as well. And this is ahead of the release of my brand new album in September, Wheeled Barrows, which is the sequel to String Henge. So please do look out for that, and forgive me for going on about my releases. Having lost an entire year's work, I'm rather keen to push the recordings. And on that same point, if you'd like to go to richarddurrant.com, you can either make donations towards the recording of the album, or you can buy advanced copies of the double vinyl. How exciting is that? And it's going to be mastered at Abbey Road, so extra special. I will be doing a broadcast on every night of what would have been my tour, and it's really important to say that next June I shall be in the church in Edwinstowe with my friends playing a cycling music concert as part of my 2021 tour, and I'll be there in the flesh. See you soon. The dawn rises over the Morris men, and the mist it glistens round the shapes of the Morris men. Their haunches tense with Olympic strength as they trample the earth. Backdrop of the Morris men. A farmhand walks through the Morris men, and he sees his brothers. Misty figures in the graveyard. Some schoolboys stare at the Morris men, but they don't see nothing. Will they play conkers on their way to school, or will their nuts be crushed by the sticks, the Morris men, whose blows bring silence to the trance of the Morris men? Morris men, and the mist it glistens round the shapes of the Morris men. Their haunches tense with Olympic strength as they trample the earth, backdrop of the Morris men. The farmhand walks through the Morris men, and he sees his brothers, misty figures in the graveyard. Some schoolboys stare at the Morris men, but they don't see nothing. Will they play conkers on their way to school? Or will their nuts be crushed by the sticks of the Morris men, whose blows bring silence to the trance of the Morris men? Passing priests shiver past the Morris men. They clutch their robes about. Will they gather fruit on their way to church? Or will their plums be flattened by the dance of the Morris men? The skylark sings to a Morris man, and the world stops turning. Rest on the shoulders of the Morris man. Fragile year, craving the summer, yearning the winter. cross upon the earth and to be a pilgrim.
Tarry on your dilly-dally way, like an old sheep on a busy, busy farm. In the wintertime, cobweb on the end of your nose. In the summertime, sitting where the shade grows. Cobweb, cuckoo spit, Kenneth the Hedge, Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. In days of old, when days were cold, Kenneth, he was sitting there. In the springtime, pretty girls hide behind you. And in the autumn time, leaves fall upon your prickly back. Horsefly, ivy leaf, Kenneth the Hedge. You know, some folks say it's possible to tell the age of a hedge. What they say is if you count the different number of plants and shrubs in a given number of yards and divide that number of plants and shrubs by that number of yards, it tells you the age of hedge. Anyway, Kenneth was one of the oldest. Kenneth, how you tarry on your dilly-dally way, like an old sheep on a busy, busy farm. And in the village pub, crackling on the fire. And in the village pub, Kenneth makes way for the road. Cobweb, cuckoo spit, horsefly, ivy leaf, Kenneth the Hedge. Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. In days of old, when days were cold, Kenneth, he was sitting there. Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. In days of old, when days were cold, Kenneth, he was sitting there. Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. In days of old, when days were cold, Kenneth, he was sitting there. Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. old, when days were cold, Kenneth he was sitting there. Granddaddy sitting there, great-granddaddy, great-great-granddaddy, daddy sitting there. In days of old, when days were cold, Kenneth he was sitting there.